Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm delighted to be speaking to Theo Georghiades, who is Fujifilm UK's General Manager. Hi Theo, how are you doing?
I'm good, Angela. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Managing to stay reasonably motivated, trying to, carry on with some work and get things done. How about yourself?
Yeah, similar. It's been a strange few weeks. It's been an odd one because for us, like the whole coronavirus discussion started back in January, and we thought it's going to affect us, but it's something that's going on over China, and then week by week it got worse and worse and worse. So yeah, it feels odd. It's like it's my third week now of working from home, which is a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, see, I normally work from home, so I'm kind of used to that. But the isolation is a little bit different. Not seeing anybody around, that does make things a bit different. So, obviously, I think it kind of snuck up on us in the UK. As you say, we saw it gradually building. But how has it affected Fujifilm?
Um, well, depending on the department, it's affected us in different ways, right? So, as not everyone knows, or maybe not 100% aware, that Fujifilm's broken up into like mini businesses. So we have the digital camera side of the business, which I look after. We have the photo finishing and Instax side of the business. We have a graphics division, and then we have a medical division, and then recorded media as well. The medical division is super busy at the moment. They're doing their utmost to support the NHS. They're doing an amazing job trying to do the best to mobilize doctors and radiologists and all the support functions that they can offer, whether it's people working from home to get them set up from home, or whether it's going into hospitals so that where they can help them with whether it's mobile scanning units, or whether it's other types of devices or software packages that's going to help them throughout this process. Because outside of this current virus, there's still people that need help for other things as well. So that the day-to-day life or the struggles of those kind of diseases and viruses don't go away. So our medical division is super busy at the moment. Whereas the camera and the photo printing side, which is our traditional heartland, yeah, it's a massive step change at the moment. It's trying to, I think what we've done in the last few weeks is trying to mobilize what we normally try and offer in store, and that kind of that face-to-face interaction is how can we replicate what we do there, and how can we do it online? And that's been the biggest
Launched
challenge.
House of Photography at the end of 2019, and now obviously that's had to close. So that's obviously, that was looking like a really exciting opportunity to talk to the public, not just Fuji users, but also, all sorts of photographers at all levels. And so it's a shame that that's closed, but I guess that was a step down a path that Fujifilm has already started to progress down, and talking about not just kit, but about photography.
And that's abundantly the main focus. Yes, it's a Fujifilm branded store, but the focus is about photography. We were building some really good momentum. We closed much earlier. We took action a lot earlier than waiting for what the government was saying. We took action the same time when photography show was cancelled. So not cancelled, sorry, postponed, let's say, because still looking forward to that in September, hopefully. But the reason we took action early is because the same reasons why the photography show had to be postponed is because of the interaction face to face, the close proximity of people interacting with each other, getting their hands on with the product. As you've seen in the store, there's a lot of touch points. And it's quite easy to spread germs and spread the virus around that. We had to protect our staff fundamentally. We had 15 people in the store. We had to be considering that they're traveling into London every day, and we know London's a high risk. So we took action early.
Yeah, I think
so
that
we've
was
been closed to the 15th of March. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think, some people were questioning why the photography show was postponed when it was first postponed, but I think everyone now recognizes the sense of that, because as you say, it's the handling of the cameras, the fact that you hold them to your face, straight after someone else has handled it and breathed all over it. So, I think it was a sensible move, and certainly somewhere like the House of Photography needed to take a stand that way as well.
Yeah.
But what about camera production? Has that been affected at all?
Well, camera production, we started seeing effects of that in January. And when we were planning things like the X100V, we staggered the launch of the silver versus the black. So the silver came out in February, the black coming out in March. And we announced the XT4 as well. And we would have all loved to have seen that sooner, but that was been unfortunately affected. Yeah.
So do you think the XT4 will go back a bit further, or is it still forecast to come?
No, it's forecasted to come later on in April. All being equal, that's going to stay as it is. What we will stagger is the availability of, say, body only versus kits. The majority of body onlys are going to be upgraded users, people who are existing in the system, and they're going to buy into hopefully their new XT4, and then the kits will come in a few weeks later.
And what about people who might need their Fujifilm camera servicing? Is that still a possibility?
It is. Our service department in Bedford is still functioning, albeit it's a little bit more limited. We have to practice social distancing, and we have a duty of care to make sure our staff are safe. So we have limited staff in the office, working in their little areas, but then ensuring that they are doing their utmost to practice that level of social distancing. They are protected as well, using gloves and masks. But we're trying to make sure we don't lock it down to ensure that people that do want their gear, because at this time of need of being at home and enjoying your hobby, and photography being one of them, then we want to make sure that we're there to help with that as well.
I can see that be quite a challenge. Do they have to sanitize a camera when it comes in, or is it the fact that they're wearing the PPE enough?
No, they clean all the products before they start handling them, because obviously we don't know where they've come from, so then they should make sure they're cleaned properly and they've got the right equipment to do that. Yeah.
And then, of course, they go back and they're nice and clean, so the photographer's protected and they get out, well, perhaps in their garden, around their house, taking photographs, documenting what's going on.
But we always recommend as well, we say to anyone that if you're receiving a package, obviously you don't know how that package has been handled. So once we pass it on, depending on the stages it's gone through, whether it's DPD or whether it's UPS or those kind of, we always recommend make sure handle it with gloves as well to protect yourself. So there's only so much we can do with the product, but after that and the hands it goes through, people have to be mindful of that also.
Are there any other challenges that you're facing at the moment with Fujifilm?
I think all camera manufacturers are facing similar challenges. This time of year is always quite a buoyant time of year because we've got a lot of new products, a lot of new announcements. Hence why it was disappointing for the photography show to be moved. So the challenges is getting hands-on with the latest gear, and finding out what's going on with the latest gear as well. And I'd say all the camera manufacturers, and actually all the accessory manufacturers probably feeling the pinch at the moment, because it's unlikely people are going to invest in new equipment without giving it a bit of a go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly still getting stuff in for testing, but obviously how I can test is somewhat restricted a little bit. But you know, I'm doing my best testing stuff and letting people know what the sort of hands-on experience is. But people do like to go, you know, that's why the photography show is so successful, is because people like to try something. And that's why the House of Photography, well, one of the reasons was very popular, because people can actually go in and shoot with a camera and see what it does.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, people will start to think about their photography a bit more, maybe start, because I think we've gone through a phase where everyone's been watching the news and watching the situation develop, and now we're kind of in the situation, and we've just got to get through it. And I think more people now are starting to think about using photography as something that can get them through it. Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a massive surge of online printing. People sitting at home, all those jobs. I'll get around to that. One of the big ones is organizing your photos, right? So whether you're using a mobile phone, right, or whether you're using a camera, whatever it is, we all have a bank of images that some are better than others in terms of managing. So it's one of those tasks where people are saying, you know what, I'm going to do it now. So I hear from the photo finishing team that certain people, well, certain businesses, sorry, are seeing a bit of a surge, a massive surge in online printing, which is great because photography is a great way of reminiscing. Yeah. And it's a great way of giving comfort to people. Yeah. So in this time of uncertainty, in this time of of um, of people worrying and stressing out of what's going to happen, are we going to be like this for weeks, months? Who knows? No one really knows. So, and all the news that you hear is very, very worrying. But sitting there, going through your photo albums, going through your old pictures, reminiscing on summer holidays, events, birthdays, weddings, this, that, and the other. It's a great way of people feeling good about themselves and thinking, you know what, yeah, we will get through this. And I look forward to see my friends and my family again. And what better way to do that through print, and what better way to do that through looking at your old pictures. So we're trying to encourage people to do that more and more. Hardware, yeah, of course, we all want people to upgrade their hardware, but that will come over time, and people will spend more time doing their research. So we know everyone starts their research online, irrespective of what's going on. People start their research online. They have a look at reviews. They have a look at what the content that people have created, and then they'll go into stores and touch and try and start making their buying decisions. All that will still happen, and then people will be itching to go out and spend some money and release the shackles of being indoors. So I do see a big spike when we are allowed to get back to some sort of normality. But in the meantime, our message is: look, take your time, enjoy the photography that you have been doing, and bring it to life. Now you've got more time than ever to get your prints done.
That's a really great point, actually. I was talking to someone else the other day about designing albums and creating photo books. And there's my brother, he creates a photo book when he goes on holiday. I've got friends who do a photo book every year, or they select a few images to get printed. And it is just a really nice thing. You know, you see your print on the wall, or you pick up a photo book and you flip through the pages. I mean, it's great that you can see your images now on your TV screen, but there's something else about being offline and holding a book or an album and flipping through the
Absolutely.
pages.
Oh, 100%. Like the other day with the kids, I sat down and I took some of their old baby photos and we flicked through them, and they're worried as well. Like mine are a little bit older. Mine's 13 and 10. Um, and and they're concerned because they start to hear the news and all the negativity that's going on, and that's upsetting that the news aren't mixing the positives as well as the negatives. They're literally just focusing on the negatives. So we've got a duty of care to try and keep people enthusiastic about the fact there is going to be light at the end of the tunnel. And what better way of sitting with your family and going through some old photos, and remembering the good times, and remembering the fact that we will get through this, and we'll create new memories.
Have you seen any other positives come out of this situation?
Positives. We're talking a lot more, I'd say. I'm talking to a lot more people that I haven't talked to for a long time. Not that I'm a recluse, you know that, but I just don't get a chance to see as many people as I'd like to. So thanks to you, especially for your Friday night drinks. I think that's brilliant, and I missed out last Friday, but the first one, it was great to see faces I would only ever see maybe at the photography show or once in the blue moon. So the only positives, as I said, I feel that me personally, and I think the photography family, because this industry is so close and tight knit, it's just a good opportunity to catch up with people you wouldn't normally see. In terms of people's spending behavior or interaction behavior, as I said, I think we're seeing a lot more people spending time looking at their photos and even sharing their photos, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever. People are going back through the archives and saying, oh, remember this or remember that. And there's a lot of challenges and photo challenges happening online. It's all about keeping people motivated and stimulated. And I think keeping spirits up is a big thing, because every single day, the whole uncertainty factor of this, it's going to be a strain on people.
Yeah, I think I agree about the photo challenges. There are quite a lot going around. There's Facebook groups and who are having their own, or there's specific Facebook groups about shooting a photo every day. What was it? A
Yeah,
photo a day keeps Corona away.
yeah. Nathan
It is,
started that. But yeah,
it is a really nice thing that actually it does buoy people up, and you put a picture up and lots of people I don't know comment on a photo of my dog, and that's
yeah.
a really nice connection to make with someone that I've never met. um, and yeah, so it is good. But do you think any of this kind of positive spirit will carry on?
I think it will, because I don't think this is not a flash in the pan. This is we're going to be able to deal with this for a long time, and I don't think it won't be a flick of the switch saying right, tomorrow's back to normal. It'll take time to get back to normal. So, and I think it's only human nature that your behaviour changes, and I think that will continue. I was on a conference call about half an hour before I joined, and we were talking about business practices, and we think business practices will now change. Um, People work from home, people having conference calls rather than face-to-face meetings, all that stuff where it maybe was a bit taboo, or whether it was just not the norm. Because the last few months is becoming the norm, I think both people's interaction, I think how people treat photography as a hobby, how we treat things from a business point of view, all that will change. And I'm almost certain behavior will change. I think people are going to almost struggle to go back to normal, because they're going to be so much more in tune with how this pandemic has affected us.
I think you're right. I think it's making people realize some of their core values. They've always been there, but actually suddenly you start to talk about them and you realize them. So I think you're absolutely right. I think that we'll continue to communicate more. I think we'll perhaps appreciate each other's photography a bit more, and perhaps, hopefully carry on sharing in the same way. Now,
Yeah.
Theo, I know you're a photographer. So
Yes.
how have you sort of on a personal level kept motivated during this crisis?
Well, I've been going out in the garden a little bit, and I've been going off my walks, and I've been taking pictures of clouds and the sky, because I've never seen it so clear. Um, and I'm in my photography days. I used to love landscape photography, and that was one thing I got into when I was a young lad. And when I travel and I go back home to Cyprus a lot, and I love my landscapes I used to take in Cyprus. So just a shame that I haven't had a chance. I don't do as much photography as I used to. I miss that. And to be honest, one thing that this has taught me is when I get out there, I'm going to start picking up a camera more often, and get away from the laptop and get away from the spreadsheets, and try and invest more time in my photography, because I do miss it. And I only ever do it when I'm on summer holiday, so I'm going to try and do that more. But it's just nice to handle a camera, go out and just take some snaps around in the park locally here. Um, my kids don't like me taking pictures of them; they hate it, so I never get a chance to take pictures of them. But I'm using an XT3 at the moment. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on an XT4 yet. I only saw it briefly before they went out for reviews and stuff. Um, but if I had a choice, I'd spend a bit more time with the X100V. So I'm looking forward to get my hands on some of the newer stuff.
Like this.
Oh, look, see, you got
Yeah,
one. I don't.
I've got one. Yeah, yeah, it's nice. It's a
Yeah,
good one to be out with or in
yeah,
with.
yeah, 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 absolutely. So no, but I've got my trusted XT3. So that's what I've got,
Very
my
nice.
weapon of choice.
Yeah, very nice camera. Well, Theo, it's been lovely talking to you. Thanks very much for agreeing to talk to Camera Jabber. I hope you,
So
your family, and the whole Fujifilm team continue to stay safe and keep well.
thanks, Angela. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate being on. I appreciate everything you're doing as well to keep everyone together, and motivated. I think it's really, really important. But and thanks to your viewers as well.